Okay, setting up your meeting for Facebook, redirecting to Facebook. Oh, look at that. Are you there?
I am here.
Okay. I need to check Facebook and see if we're on there.
I don't see us.
Oh, I hear it, so you must be having it on there.
No.
Okay.
There we are. There we are. There we are.
Let's make sure it's still going because I just. Are you sure? Because I just took it, I stopped it on mine, so I wasn't hearing it in the background. We're on. Look at that. Hi, everybody. There's 10. I wasn't hearing it in the background. We're on. It's always shocking when I start hearing something. So there's 10 people here. So
Yeah,
far, hi, everybody. Hi, Deb and Dawn.
Hi, everybody.
Sheila, Donna. And it looks like
Sheila.
I'm actually going to get real-time chat. Let's see if that works.
Donna's here. Hi, guys.
Hi, Karen. Just going to give everybody a few minutes to log on before we get started. Make sure everything's set up okay.
Just so everybody knows, there's going to be probably some pretty heavy of breathing and twitching and jerking and what have you, because they have been all over us all day long. So it's pretty intense in my dining room right now. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm at home and it's, you see a lot of itching, head scratching, and it's just all the energy. So
Yep. Okay, I'm just going to make sure everything else is okay. I have backup internet here just in case.
Lots of yawning too. I'm not tired. It's just energy.
Energy moving.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Miss Karen.
So can we do a sound check? Can anybody who's on let us know if you can hear us okay?
Hi, Sherman.
So is that showing up in your live chat right now?
Hi, Hannah. Yep.
See, my live chat isn't working. There's got to be some settings on my phone that don't work.
How'd you get it to work last time?
I looked at yours.
At the bottom, click on live chat.
I did. That's what I'm clicking on right down there.
Yeah. Hi, Shy.
Okay, Donna says she can hear me.
Okay, so you do. Hi, Jessica. Charmin says, I hear you. I could totally hear that in your voice too, by the way, Charmin, just so you know.
That's funny.
And there is always a little delay because we're on Zoom and then we're feeding it into Facebook Live. So there's always that little bit of a delay too. So
do something for me, Monique, before we get started. Okay. Tell me the next thing that pops up in your chat. So Charmin, I can see if it.
Charmin says, laugh out loud. You're funny.
Yep. I got none of that.
What?
And I have live chat set as on.
Hi, Michelle. She says, I hear you both. That's right. I'll just pay attention to the comments then.
If I
got
go
it.
out and I come back in, I get the new comments, but I have to go out first.
And you clicked on comments and
Yeah.
that's, wow. Well,
I'll have to see if there's a fix for it because that's a little bit inconvenient, but okay. It's all good.
I'll
It
just
is what it's
keep an eye on. So if y'all see me looking down, I'm checking.
or me. Ditto. We'll be doing that. Okay.
Yeah. Michelle and Melinda say, hi ladies. They say that they can hear us both. So
Yep. Okay. All right. Perfect. So thanks for being here, guys. The energy's intense. So you might see a lot of twitching, yawning, moving, itching, all of that good stuff.
Squirming.
They actually had us check in about 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. They've had quite the messages today. And I think it's funny because when I looked at the numerology of today, and then I got the message that it was an angelic day. And I was like, I don't know that doesn't match up with numerology necessarily. But then when I looked online, the very first thing I came to was it was the angels letting you know they're near.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Here.
So synchronicity is there of why we chose this for tonight, which truly we chose this for tonight because that's what we were hearing was the best thing to do. Yeah. But tonight's going to be, frankly, we don't know what tonight's going to be. It's going to be guided. It's going to be angels with messages. They're very clear that they have messages for you. There may be individual messages or there may not be. We just can't gauge what's going to come through and what's not going to. So we're just along for it and we're just surrendering to the process. Do you have anything to add there, Monique?
No, I'm just trying to breathe. It is pretty thick. Yeah, I kind of got the same thing today too. That there may be a few individual messages, but it feels like it's more like a overall global consciousness kind of thing, but not only just for that, but for the group in particular too. I know we're all part of the collective, but it's like this little group within the collective as well. Yeah, I'm singing big time on that one. So I miss Tabitha. So we do this really freeform. In case y'all haven't figured that out, we just say, okay, let's talk about this if we feel like we're led or guided to or kind of pushed to, and we don't script it. We just run with it. We just run with it. And Sarah and I operate the same way in this. We want everything to be natural and flowing, and not like scripted. You know what I mean? I mean, if I do get a message beforehand, I usually ask them to put a pin in it because I'm not going to remember it. If I have a chance, I might jot it down just as a reminder. But normally I'm just like, just tell me when the time comes.
Yeah, when it comes to the channel messages, that seems to work at least better for me. So not to say, so depending on what tonight is, it's not to say that we won't have nights where we do more individual messages for everybody. And you never know, we might have those tonight. We just don't know. What I do know is that the angels are among us and they've got some serious messages and energy to flow. So if you're feeling that, they're already, I can see them stepping in around all of you. All of your angels are with you. Your guides are here. I'm just very thankful we get to be in the space with you. So thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And of course, my hope always when we do one of these is that I'm always so grateful, thankful, and blessed. And I'm honored that I get to honor all of you by being able to do it. We love to do and we get to do by bringing this to people that may not always get that experience. And hopefully give whatever guidance or confirmation or validation that you might need, even if you're not aware of it. So it's always interesting and fascinating to me. I'm amazed every day, and I'm sure Sarah can relate too. I'm amazed almost every day. There's always something every day that makes me go, that just happened, and I love what I get to do. Yeah.
Ditto. Absolutely ditto. Oh, and hi, Dawn and Robin and Amanda. So yeah, today it was interesting because knowing we were doing this tonight, the angels that came through today in session were just gorgeous. Enough so that even though we do this all the time, I was like, whoa, I've never seen wings like that. I've never seen that before. And so the wonder and the miracle of it, to know that that exists with us is amazing to me. Just to know that they're always here for us, but they need our free will and cooperation, and they want us to ask for them to step in and guide us and help us.
Absolutely, we have to. I mean, we have to ask, because they can't encroach or, mess up our free will in any way, and they won't. They really won't. That's contract that they're under. So, do you wanna get us rolling here, Miss Sarah?
Yeah. So you guys all give permission if you want, depending on what's going to come through, you give permission if you want us to connect your energy for that. It may be a collective energy. But what we do is we set sacred space. We connect into a meditation to really connect into the vibration of unconditional love. And then we set sacred space and we bring in that vibration. And then with your permission, if you give permission, we can make sure that as the messages come through, it's like we're holding you in this very much loving space for that. Everything's free will. And I never want to connect to your energy if it's not in your free will to want that to happen. So you choose. And if you say no, my intention is then you are still, there's still love everywhere around you and your angels are still there. But I will honor that if any like a download comes in or something like that. And then at any point you say, yes, okay, yes, I say yes. You can choose again at that point.
People are chiming in. I get permission. So I think that's an overwhelming. And I got Robin's a yes, please.
Okay. Thank you. And I appreciate that. And I just so you know that you always have that free will and choice. Okay. Absolutely. At any point within it, always, every step of the way. Okay. So we're actually going to do. Did you have anything else to say, Monique? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. And even just saying yes out loud, you don't have to say yes on here, although we do appreciate it.
We do love it.
you can absolutely, because we want this to be interactive too, right? And so we do really value and appreciate that. But you can just sit at your house or wherever you're at and say yes, and you'll still get it. And the angels and other peeps will let us know by then flowing with messages and stuff if they have one for you. They're not going to give it to us if you're like, nah, not today.
Yeah, so, you don't want to be in the sacred space and you want to stay outside the bubble sphere and just watch, you get that choice. And in all reality, when we set those intentions, we go into the space of divine love, that's just what is going to flow, because it's always in the honoring of that free will in love. Okay, so if we're all ready, we're going to connect in. I'm going to connect all of our energies in. So we're just going to take a minute to do a little bit of meditation. I want you all just to sink in, drop in, know that you're safe, and just take a moment, even if this is the only time today that you have to breathe deep. Sink into your chest. Oh, taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Centering yourself in your heart. Taking a moment to call back all your awareness. All parts and aspects of you. Bring that back into the now moment, right here, right now. Taking a deep breath. And as you breathe in and out of your heart, imagine that you can breathe from your heart. Your breath coming in and out like the ocean waves of your heart. And as you do that, allow yourself to see this flow of energy moving in and out. Now bring your awareness to the light surrounds you in your auric field and your energy body. Allow yourself to see a beautiful white light in this field of energy. This is the energy of pure unconditional love. And I want you to see it all around you and all through you throughout your body. I want you to see your molecules as being in motion with all this energy in between. Seeing that all of these particles of light, all of this energy becomes a part of you. Filling every single aspect of you and coalescing into a beautiful ball in the center of your heart. Now I want you to see from this beautiful ball in your heart, a tether, a cord, move down your body, down your hips and your legs and your calves and through your feet, down into the earth and through your earth star chakra, down through the layers of the earth, beyond the crystals and the rocks, sinking deeper and deeper all the way to the center of divine love that sits at center of Mother Earth Gaia. Connecting in, anchoring in, grounding in. Knowing you're connected to the energy of pure unconditional love and support that sits below. And watch as that energy from the center, possibly as a golden light, comes back up. That energy you sent down comes back up through that cord, up through your feet, merging with the gold and the white, being them swirl together, up your calves and your thighs, your hips. Ooh, moving up into your chakras and opening all of your chakras from your root to your sacral, to your solar plexus, to your heart, to your high heart and your throat, your third eye and your crown. Watching as this energy now moves up, and a tether cord going up, your awareness moving up beyond, while still completely anchored to center, going up higher than you believed could be possible, and connecting in to your higher self, your I am presence. Ooh, plugging in here, and then going higher and reaching higher, going beyond the universe, seeing a beautiful white light of pure unconditional light, love, and purulescent light. And plugging into that. And seeing that surround you, bringing that into your heart space so that your whole energy, body, and field is tethered and connected below, grounded, and above in unconditional love as it swirls into all of your being. Oh. And from this space, Monique, can you set sacred space?
Yeah. Creator of all that is, it is commanded, requested, and simply asked that wherever all of us are that are watching now and are present now, and for those that watch in the future, it is commanded that wherever they may be, their space be set as sacred space, releasing any and all negative energy, negative emotions, negative undercurrents, attachments, energetic implants, cutting cords, releasing all of that into Creator's light to be healed with love and light, and filling everyone from the top of their head to the bottom of their feet and everything in between with love, light, healing energy, and unconditional love. Just say yes. Create it.
Yes.
We also ask, command, and request that everyone's angels, ancestors, and guides, and other beings of love and light that would like to be here in support, that they would be here to give messages, comfort, confirmation, validation, whatever is needed for everyone's highest and best. Yes?
Yes.
Create that now. Now, if you start to feel very warm, your angels are with you.
Yes, they are.
They're super toasty, super toasty. And I always knew that they were warm. That's why my hair is usually up. It's almost time to do that. But yeah, one time I was in kind of an icky situation, and so I'd called in on my peeps, all my angels especially, to come in and literally cover me and protect me while I was sleeping, watch over me. Well, they literally like covered me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I was like ripping off blankets. I was like, all right, back up. You guys are really toasty. It was something, let me tell you. Cold.
That was
not
happening today in session. It was wild. And I keep an air purifier with a fan on it in front of me because but we were both, it was intense today. The angels have been really strong today. So some people do experience cold sensation when the angels are around, and sometimes you get chills. So it can be different depending on how you perceive the energy.
Right. And even there's a distinct difference in the cold too. Chills, I call them zings. Like I'll get goosebumps and you feel it that way. But cold, like seeing your breath, that's not good. There's a difference.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yep. Okay. So where do we want to start, Monique? What are we getting? And thank you for doing that beautiful clearing and connection and to the sacred space, setting the sacred space.
Thank you for that amazing meditation. You're so good at that. And Dawn says,
I feel like I need to say something. Is that okay?
Yeah,
absolutely. Angels are really special to me. Monique's talked about how, different experiences, and I have too. And I've shared that when I was a kid, I remembered seeing them, and they've been there at different really pivotal parts of my life. And it's so important, and I'm feeling this so deeply. And so they must be bringing this message in. They're here for us. Like they're here for us. They're not just in an abstract, okay, we have angels. Like they are here for us. I had a near-death experience, and this is going to be another night when we talk about some of this stuff, but I had a very, very close near-death. I've actually had a few of those, as I know Monique has too, but this is as an adult, not too long ago. And this is when I knew how to call in angels and that they were there for us. And I remember after it was done going, whoa, like what just happened? They really do. They are here for us. Sometimes not the way we expect or anticipate, but they're here. I've driven by, and oh man, they're sharing this. I'm going to cry. I've driven by some pretty severe accidents because I travel a lot for my offices. And there was one particular accident where on the interstate, we were held up quite a ways. And I knew instantly, and I said to everyone in the car, all my kids were there, my husband, I said, we have to start praying. And I went in And this was just a couple years ago, and I connected in and we started praying. I just said, Creator of all that is, it is asked it, for all the angels to be here, for them to come in. And I knew they would have been there anyways, but as we're getting up to it, I was given the ability at that moment to see them with my eyes and not just in my third eye. And there were so many on the hilltop with accident and all the people that were injured. They were literally blanketing the space, and they were with the first responders, and they were, and I was like, wow, the amazingness of that. That's an extreme version, but in little versions, they're here for us in every moment. They're here for us, and we just have to know that we need to ask. They're here for us anyways, but we need to participate in that. Yeah,
absolutely. And I mean, you said it right. They are here, and they're always with us in some fashion or another. And sometimes the things that they're allowed to do may look different than what we think or would expect them to do. But it's really about taking the time to really sit in that space, in that white light space, in that creative space, and just spend time and building that relationship of trust and having faith that when we ask, it's received by them. And they have many jobs. I mean, they have many jobs, but the one that they love the most is actually us asking for help and them being able to do that for us. Now, like with anything else, may not go the way we would want it to sometimes, but they always have our best intentions at heart when they do things too. So, and they will tell you that, yes, they do have ego, but because they're being like anything else, right? But even in that, it's because, we're like, oh, I really want this. And they're like, yeah, but this would be better for you. It's still with our best intention in mind.
Well, and we have to remember that there is a divine plan too. There's a lot at work and at play, and there's lots of people's free wheels going on. So there's a lot more than just what we're asking in that moment. But they are always here for us, and I always believe that deeply. And I haven't always seen them. There was a big period of time where I didn't, and there's other ways to connect in with what they're saying. I personally love oracle cards. When we're just starting to open, I think oracle cards, especially if you get yourself an angel deck, if you want to talk to the angels specifically. I have a fairy deck I love too, when I was really just opening up to that energy. And it can help you really to get those pure messages, especially when you connect to heart space before you do that.
Well, and just connection in general. And if that's something that you really feel led or drawn to, there's a purpose and a reason, right? And so absolutely get yourself, if you feel drawn to, get my very first deck ever was Healing with the Angels. That was my very first deck of oracle cards. I've had several since then, but I've even had angel tarot cards. I mean, they make everything nowadays. And so that was a way for me to connect and kind of get used to tarot cards and all of that as well. I'm not saying you have to do it, but that I know that was a tool that helped me as well. It's finding those tools, because that's what it is. It's a tool. Even today, people come to me for card readings, and I love doing them because the cards are beautiful and amazing, and they're a lot of fun. I'm still getting the messages before I flip the cards. It's just a really good tool. That's what helped open me up too, because I was like, in the beginning, everybody's like, I don't know, am I really getting that? Am I making that up? I don't know, is that? And so it was a really good way. And it's great for logic left brain people. That was me. To have something to see and touch and feel, to see it, to believe it, kind of thing. And so it's a great way when you're really learning how to trust your intuition, to know that you're totally on point, because you'll be feeling it and you're like, I don't know. You might even hear it, right? And you're like, and then you'll flip a card and you'll be like, oh, that's exactly what I heard. You'll be feeling they need forgiveness. You flip a card, it's forgiveness. You're like, oh, you cannot make that up. You just
No,
can't.
no. And I feel like they're really saying, so they just sent this. I don't know if you can see how red I just got. They just sent this. This is another way the messages is coming through. And, you know, they're saying the tools is really important. Until it's not so important, but it's important because they really want you to be connecting. This is like, they're like pushing on my energy, like they're right here. And they're saying they really want you to know that they are here. So anyway, not anyway, it's interesting. They're showing this bright white light coming down the center. They're really showing that in this heart field of connection, this love field. They're like, when you connect to us through that, they're showing that that's important, but there's lots of tools to do that, to get you there if you don't feel like you can trust it right away. Though they really want you to feel, like they want you to feel what your heart's saying when they're giving the message, and they want you to feel what your body is saying to you. And I remember the first time, and I think actually, so I knew the angels were there, but I wasn't deciphering different body feelings. And Monique told me that she deciphered the difference. And I was getting all these feels, but I didn't know this. She deciphered the difference by which side of the body the tingles were coming in. And I was like, oh my gosh, they do come in all different places, depending on what it is. I was so excited. And I started listening and I realized, oh, that's my angels coming in. That's my ancestors. So right now they're giving me this huge message. Feel your body. You're going to know if it's an angel message. Feel your body. If you're in fear, you need to rethink this. But they're really having you connect into that. They're like coming fast and furious, Monique. So you can butt in at any time. You're not going to offend me.
Okay. So for me, like Sarah was saying, I was like, because I was like Helen Keller, I could feel all this stuff, but it felt like it was just imploding on me. And I was like, I don't know what any of this is. And I was feeling actually anxious and kind of panicked and a bit overwhelmed. I'm not gonna lie about it. And I was like, this is ridiculous. And I said, everybody out of my bubble, like get out of my space. And they all backed off. And then I was like, okay, one at a time. And so I started calling people in and I started noticing where I would feel it when they stepped in. So again, it's about having a working relationship, but we get to set our healthy boundaries, even with Jesus and Buddha. Yes, we do. And so for me, it was like, okay, sorry, as Jesus steps in.
Okay.
Right at my spine every time. But that's a prime example. I don't even have to close my eyes. I don't even have to look. I know who was that just stepped in. Why? Because that's what I said. Is when they stepped in, so that I could feel exactly who they were, you know, because that first time they'd step in, I was like, oh, who is that? Oh, I know who that is. Okay. Then I asked, okay, so now every single time that you step in, I need you to step in the same way. And they zing me in the same spot every single time. So then I know, like during a reading, because I told them it's not always appropriate for me to close my eyes and push into the energy, right? And so when I'm in the middle of a reading and I'm talking to somebody, they'll step in and know exactly who it is. Here's what's fun though, if it's a new angel, because there are so many, but if it's a new angel and I'm like, whoa, who is that? Then I'll step in. And of course, your family will always step in on your left. Now they'll step in and then move around, but they step in so I know who they are, and then they'll move around the room, and that's okay. But it's getting to know how your body responds to each person and being as they step in. Does that make sense? I don't.
Do you know who just stepped in? Okay, I gotta take a minute, guys.
Is that your brother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. Anyways, I was feeling the zing all the way down my left side, and I have been. What's interesting, so please correct me if I'm wrong, this is so interesting. We are growing even when we cross over. And He told me when I was 16, we crossed over. This is when I was in the stage of I don't believe in God and I don't believe in anything. He crossed over and he showed me and he came to me. And that's when my mediumship really opened. And he said to me, I'm not where I thought I would. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where people like to think I am. And he showed me what that looked like. It's really interesting because he turned around and he just showed these little tiny angel wings. Little tiny angel wings. He says, I'm progressing, Sarah. I'm progressing. So I think that's really interesting.
That's beautiful. So Amanda has a question really quick. Hello, Ray.
I saw that. I thought it was like, good. I'm glad you're getting that.
Amanda. So Amanda's asking if we know of any good websites to purchase an angel deck. So I keep an eye on Hay House. A lot of times they'll do buy one, get one 50% off. They don't have a huge selection all the time, but they do kind of switch it out. Sometimes they have a lot of the ones that I really like.
Amazon has some good ones too. I go to Amazon and I just start feeling them. Do I like this one? Does it feel good? Do I like what the pictures look like?
Right. And a lot of times Amazon has a huge selection. So does Etsy, but the prices vary. A lot of times I'll go in and just power load my cart and save them for later. And then when they hit on sale, I'm that person, sorry. But when they hit on sale, then I'll buy, especially the more expensive decks.
But you're buying for classes too.
I do. I do buy for classes. Yeah. And so, because I do teach how to do oracle card readings and stuff. So I do that. But, unless I feel like I have to have it at that moment. And sometimes I'll be getting ready for a class. I'm like, oh, somebody needs this deck and I'll go out and get it. Yeah. So I just go with it. But yeah, I'll load up my cart and hit the save for later. I do. But Etsy, Hay House, Amazon. Sometimes Sarah found my little secret. Sometimes you can even find them at TJ Maxx.
I bought 4. I cleared them out this last about a month ago. And hi, Darla. And you know what? Yep. And Lisa, you had an awesome comment, but it just flicked on my screen before I could say. So my screen did upload finally.
Oh, it did. Nice. Here. I will tell you what it said. So 2, Don Little said, we have no heat in the apartment in Taiwan, and my apartment was freezing, but now it's hot as heck. Nice.
Angels are there. They're there.
Yeah. Charmin, I just got chills. Lisa, I love the aspect of building a trusting relationship with angels. It's becoming like honoring and nurturing a physical relationship. And it truly is. And it really is about having faith and trust with that as well, because they want to be in relationship with you. That's been the biggest message I've been getting all day. That's the one I've been getting all day. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been seeing your face, Lisa, since last night. And I didn't know what topic we were gonna roll out today until we kind of cinched that up this morning. Honestly, hey, we let the energy flow where it needs to, but the angels have been all over us. And for you, Lisa, it's you gotta back up. Oh, dude. I'm seeing Archangel Raphael and his message to you, but this applies to others in the group as well.
Yeah, this feels like it's for multiple people, but it's being directed to her. Yep.
Absolutely. But the message is quite clear. Stop doubting yourself. You are an amazing healer. You're an amazing light worker. You're right where you need to be. You have fought and battled and scratched and clawed and climbed your way through all kinds of obstacles that have been thrown in your path, whether by your choices or imposed upon you by others. But you're here. You're here and you're right where you need to be. You're moving in the right direction, and you will continue to have forward motion. There may be and will be a few bumps along the way. They're not going to be huge roadblocks though, because with all the healing that you're doing and all of the goals that you're setting and all the manifesting that you're doing and all the things that you are doing to honor and hold yourself in sacred space, by doing the healing and the growth and reaching out to others when you feel the need, by back up, by doing all of those things, you have repeatedly shown the universe that yes, you are willing, wanting, and able to do the things that you are here to do, and the things that you've now learned that you want to do. And you will be honored and rewarded for that as well. So ugh,
Ooh.
stay strong. I know, whoa, stay strong, little sister, is what I keep hearing. And so,
And who is
whoa.
Raphael? Can you tell her?
So Archangel Raphael, he's one of my Fab Five. Hey. They're not mine, but I call him my Fab Five. Archangel Raphael. So what's really interesting with any any of the angels, none of them are better than or less than. There is kind of a hierarchy, so to say, but it doesn't mean anyone's better or less
It's not
than.
better than or less than. Yep.
Absolutely. It's just to kind of distinguish, if you will. But the archangels are the big boys. That's pretty much. But they're all healers and they're all warriors and they all do many jobs, tasks, whatever. But when they were created, and this was shared to me by one of my guides, which is an archangel, the way he explained it to me, because I was like, help me to understand this a little better. The way he explained it is, once they were created, thank you, creator then came to them and said, you will be a healer, you will be a warrior, you will be a protector, you will be all of these things. However, I need someone to do this job. Are you willing to do this job for me? And so mine, for example, is Archangel Azrael, who is one of the angels of death, not as depicted. And so he is a warrior, he is a protector, he is a healer, and he's also an angel of death. And part of his job, when we come to our death door and it's time for us to cross over, he helps us. He I'm not freaking me out, but he removes our soul from our physical form literally before we take our final breath, so there's no pain. He removes us and helps us he helps us cross over. He escorts us to cross over, I should say. And usually Jesus is there too. And
Love.
he will cross us over, and then he helps us to transition on the other side. When we're little, we don't walk and we have to learn how to crawl and to do all the things because we're coming from a pure energetic form, a pure energy body, if you will. So he helps us transition to help us reacclimate to be. Thank you. Is it Mercury retrograde? Because I'm starting to wonder. He helps us so that we can then get used to being an energetic form again. And so that's one of his many jobs.
He also brings us back when we don't want to come back.
Well, there's that too.
The part I distinctly remember.
Yes, he does. He does do that sometimes too. He does. But and sometimes there's just healing in that too. Again, they're healers. And so they were given charge over us to help us, and they do that by loving us and encouraging us and keeping us safe. And they can't impose on our free will. I have seen and I'm sure other people have seen videos and stuff online too, but I have literally seen where they have not imposed on our free will, but acted on our behalf. It's not very often, and it has to be like an extreme event, like we're in the wrong place, wrong time, not of our own doing.
I think that's the divine timing that comes in. That's where there's a higher perspective. And sometimes that, like our free will of us as divine beings, as our higher self, is actually a higher free will than the free will here. It's kind of an interesting thing when it comes to soul purpose, but
it really is. But that's, in those instances, they will intervene and help. So but you know, those are kind of rare moments really in the grand scheme. Most people don't really have those experiences in their life. If they do, it's maybe one. I see a lot more light workers with near life or afterlife experiences or near death experiences. But through sometimes a lot of times through that stress and trauma, that's what awakens us as well. So,
Yeah.
and we could go on about that for hours.
So Lisa has she says, strange that I heard he gets a bad rap for being referred to as the Grim Reaper. And that's funny because, you know, think about it. He's just doing this beautiful job of helping us transition. And think about nurses that sit there at the bedside. I used to do that as a nurse. And to me, it was the most beautiful, honoring moment to be able to sit there as someone transitioned. So I think it's interesting that as a society, we give him that view of Grim Reaper. I agree with you. It's strange, but I remember him and we see him, and he's absolutely not the Grim Reaper. He is beautiful.
No, but we've
So
now
beautiful.
created that entity. We've created that because we put so much energy into it. I mean, there are
That's a
26
separate thing.
It
Yes.
is. It is. That's the opposite. It is.
That's our fear. That's our fear coalesced into an energy.
Absolutely. And our fear feeds it, right? April says real quick, $9 flash sale on Hay House. So there you go, Amanda.
You know, it's interesting as you're talking about that message that was coming through. I saw this beautiful golden light start flowing, and I really tapped into the energy of it, and I heard abundance. And I feel like this is for a collective. This is for a lot of you. It's for all. That's what I'm hearing. It's for all. And I do feel like Raphael is here with that, but there's also a whole host of others. Like there's not just one. Nope. They want us to start as part of our awakening. We're meant to be abundant. Like that message, I am like chilling with this message. So this message is for all of us.
In all things.
Yes, we are meant to be abundant. We are meant to be abundant in love, in connection, in joy, and in the vibration, the higher vibration of money. It's actually a beautiful thing when it's in that vibration of love, as exchange with love, all with love, in this place of generosity. And there's just so much that goes into that. And this vibration, I don't know if any of you are actually feeling it, but I am feeling this wave of golden energy flow through the sacred space that's been created. And I'm actually hearing some whispered words, and I'm seeing the triangle sacred geometry come in. So apparently they had a download vibration for you guys, for all of us, if we choose to accept. And I'm hearing, yes, this is part of their messages. Messages are not always in words. Sometimes they're in a vibration that is beyond words. And they want you to, if you choose to, accept that, because they want you to tap into the safety of that abundance. Not all of us have had that in our lifetime in all the ways that we can have it. Ooh, that triangle is just huge. And it's like a connection point between your heart, your higher self, your highest aspect of self, and the truth of what that is, because they know what true abundance is, even if you don't in this physical, and then the connection point with creation. And it creates a secret trinity, separate trinity than the one we sometimes think of. There's lots of triangle and trinity energies. Oh, and they're saying, will you receive the abundance? Because your higher self is holding it for you. And all you have to do is say yes. All right. I'm hearing create it now. So create that now if you'd like that. Ooh. Whew.
That was like solid. Sorry, that was like.
That was, yeah. That came in like a freight train. Sorry if I interrupted you, Mo.
No, you are fine.
Raphael was like, I am not waiting any longer. This is coming in right now.
I know. Gotta love Raphael. Yeah. Man. Whew.
Whew. Yeah. That's interesting, because that's going to be a separate vibration for each person, because your higher self was actually bringing in what you needed specifically.
Well, and again with the divine, with the timing too, um, wherever they're at in their journey, and expansion and awakening.
I
Yeah,
think you need to
all
tell
the,
us more about this. Is interesting. They're saying Mo,
yeah, I know they do.
Mo. Can you explain that angels are not just one type of angel?
Yes. So there is a hierarchy, so to speak. Without it, like we said previously, without it being better than or less than, that's not it. They all work in conjunction with each other. They all honor and love each other the same, right? Brothers and sisters, what have you. And so, um, there are, I don't know how to say that. Okay, thank you. There's angels for everything, everything. Oh, back up. We have car, they're really excited, by the way. We have car angels, we have house
Yeah, they
angels, we
say
have,
introduce us. Introduce us, they're saying.
yeah, I know, I know. They have, you have angels for your home and for your pets and for your car and for your
Mm.
food and for everything, your job. There's angels for everything. We just
Creative
have to ask.
expression.
Yes, creative expression. Everything. There is not one, there's not one thing that's going on in your life that there isn't an angel for. Yes, Cupid is real. Is he a little fat guy in a toga? Not so much. But there is for love and affection and attention and humor and sarcasm. Yes, sarcasm is a real deal. Thank you, sweet Jesus, because I live in it. So, there's an angel for everything. And that's just kind of a basis. And then the next rung up are like your guardian angels. Guardian angels are assigned to you at birth. Everybody has anywhere from 3 to 5, typically on average. There can be a changing of the guard at some point in your life, depending on choices, circumstances, near death experience, afterlife experience, death doors you choose to go through or not. I mean, there's a lot of variables with that. But we do have guardian angels. And then the next hierarchy are like the archangels, if you will. Again, they're warriors, they're healers, they're guides. Archangels are a little bit different. Guardian angels are assigned, that's their main job. They know this, they agreed to it, and they contract with us in this lifetime.
And you can get new
Um,
ones.
you
And they
can.
can cycle if their job is done.
Absolutely. And
Sorry.
that's that kind of changing in the guard.
Mhm.
Some will be like, well, I'll stay with you until you reach adulthood. And then at that point, that one rolls off and a new one steps in. So it just depends. But you agree to that and have that agreement contract before you come into this life. And so there's that. The archangels, they can be spirit guides, they can be guides, they can do those things, but they get to choose who they want to work with and who not to. And that's not to mean anybody's better than or less than, but with them, there's a certain purpose. For example, I'm a psychic medium. Archangel Azrael is one of my spirit guides, because one of my main jobs that I agreed to do in this lifetime was to help cross people over so that they can get the healing that they need, and to heal the family lines, of course, but also to heal our planet one transition at a time. And so he works, but not all mediums have that. Not all of them are driven to do that, and that's okay, because they're here to do other jobs. Will they do it? Absolutely. But is that their first thought? No. And that's okay, because I don't want to do what they're doing. You know what I mean? So, and that's okay. So he chose to be one of my guides to help me with that. And he's taught me a lot. He's really mentored me a lot, as far as, because, first time somebody's like, can you come clear my house? Dude, I don't even know how to clear my own house. But he helped me. I messed up some because I'm human and I wasn't sure what I was hearing and all the things. But you get it done, you figure it out, you learn, you grow. And so there's plenty of archangels We have, oh geez, just the ones off the top of my head. Michael, of course, everybody knows he's the major warrior and protector. He's also healer. And he's kind of like E.F. Hutton to me. When he speaks, everybody listens because he doesn't say much. And then we have Archangel Raphael. His main job is he is the healer. He really is. His light to me is emerald green. He is definitely a healer. Michael's is, well, this is interesting. There's a lot of theory on this, but I got it right from him. So take it if it resonates. If not, that's okay. Not gonna hurt my feelers. But everybody sees Michael with a royal blue aura about him, but that's actually not his. His is brilliant, bright white light. When I see him, his is blue when he has his sword of truth with him. The sword itself has a royal blue aura, which reflects back off the white. And so when he has it with him, when he's in full-blown warrior mode, he illuminates as blue. Azrael, depending on what he's doing, some people see him like a smoky light gray or whatever. I think that's just the concept of what they've created. When I see him, he's like a golden white to me, and that'll vary depending on what he's doing.
I see him as gold. That's how he comes into my vision, as gold. Yeah.
Me too, especially when he's just my guide, my buddy, my whatever. But when I see him doing his job, if you will, he looks brilliant, bright white light to me. It's pretty interesting to see that transition.
Well, and it's important with intuition that we all see colors differently, like chakras, even though they're aligned with colors, and angels with colors. Sometimes our intuitive senses see them differently. So don't judge that and don't say that it's wrong or whatever, because we'll just see what we see.
Absolutely. And that's why I said, don't, you're not gonna hurt my feelings. Just take it the way you see it. I know people that see Azrael's purple, and that's okay.
I've heard
totally, that's totally okay. Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel, he's also a healer. He's very much around communications as well. We have Archangel Arielle, and she has dominion over, because they all have dominion over something specific. And Michael, Uriel, Gabriel, and Raphael are directional as well. Michael is north, Michael's north, Uriel south.
Don actually asked for more names of females. Do you know of any? And here's the interesting thing. They don't always show up as male or female. So just to throw that out.
They're androgynous, but yeah, they can present however, and they will present however makes you feel most comfortable. Angels are actually 12 to 26 feet tall. I'm a tall girl. I'm 6'1", right? On a good day, I'm 6'1". So when they come in for me, my boys are 6'5" and 6'8", so I'm comfortable with that. So when they come in, they step in with me, they're as tall as my boys. I'm comfortable with that. For other people, I've seen them walk in, I'm like, what the heck? Because they, Sarah doesn't want to look up like that all the time, and so they may come in a little bit shorter for her because that's going to be comfortable for her. It's just interesting, but we do have a lot.
They don't. They like to laugh at me. They don't care that I'm short. What do you think? Sandalphon will walk in and he's bigger than the house. I'm like, what the heck? Because Sandalphon likes to come in a lot.
He's like closer to 30 feet tall. He is massive, and his energy
massive.
For those who don't know, Sandalphon is actually Metatron's twin brother. Interesting fun fact about Archangel Metatron is he was actually Enoch in life, and so he was also a record keeper, if you will, and so he never died. God just called him up to be in heaven, and he's the only one really allowed to sit in God's presence because he's the scribe still. That's why he's over the book of life and the Akashic records, sacred geometry.
I was going to say that's who I always work with when I go to the Akashic records. Opens the doorway.
Yeah, me too.
Fun fact, on your hands, Akashic records are right here, and so you can access them to that point on our hands too, if you know how. But yeah,
absolutely.
Just start feeling there, and you might actually start connecting if you ask Metatron for help. So
Absolutely. And he, he comes across a little ornery sometimes. He's still very much in touch with his humanness, but I love him.
yeah.
I love him. He's like the ornery grandpa
What color
that
do you see him as? Because I always see him as bright white light, but I see it's so interesting, but I always see pink at the center. Pink.
Mhm. Well, pink is a heart color, right? So you have
Mm.
your green, but you also have a pink too. And so yeah, that's interesting. I do. Sometimes I'll catch with him, I always see the brilliant bright white lights. And then I will catch a little pink and sometimes a little bit of orange. So it's kind of interesting. And to me, that feels more like the sacred geometry aspect of it, that orange
Mm,
flash that I get,
I
which is
agree.
interesting,
Mhm.
which is
Absolutely.
interesting. And so yeah, uh, he can come across a little gruff or a little ornery sometimes, but I just love him. I love him. He's an interesting character. And so Sandalphon is his twin brother, and he's all about tone and vibration and music and all of those things, but he will also heal. And I've seen him chase some bad stuff out of my area. One time I was like, oh, you can do that. This is when I was first really dialing into the angelic realm. I was like, you can do that. I was like, Michael, where's Michael? I need Michael. And he goes, no, you don't. I was like, oh, you can do that. He goes, honey, we can all do that. And I was like,
Whoa.
whoa, this opened a whole nother layer to everything for me. And so that was really interesting. Um, and so
Sandalphon always comes for me though when I ask you about divine gifts. It's as if he comes in to show, and he'll show it in constellations almost. Um,
absolutely,
so he really, for me, connects into that. Like that's the what he comes in.
absolutely. Yeah, and I always get an amazing tone with him. And I know that sounds
Yes.
kind of funny, but
No.
he's amazing. And they're all amazing and they're all super gifted and they're all here for us to dial into and connect with. You always want to make sure you connect with them through that tingly white space so that there's no energetic exchange. Um, and so we have a lot of female counterparts. So we have Archangel Arielle, who has dominion over plants and animals. Love her. Um, there were a few times when I lived outside of Helena in the middle of nowhere, there were a few times that I felt very unsafe. I was out at the property by myself. I didn't have a dog. I felt very unsafe. And I was calling in the peeps and I saw and felt her step in. And what was interesting, I was like, oh, thank you, guys are here. And I was in that space. I could still hear everything around me. I could hear my cat purring. Um, but I wasn't asleep yet, but I was close. And my bed, like I felt something jump up on my bed and kind of push down. I was like, what is that? I flipped on the light and I sat up and I could see the indentation. What I could feel it jump up and feel it, spin around. I was like, it feels like a huge cat. Well, she'll
I
actually
remember
present,
you telling me about that.
right? Because I was
Yeah.
like, dude, and you could actually see the impression on my bed. And she will present as a very large, sometimes people see her lion, bobcat, a very large feline. She'll present that way. And so that's her. I love her. I love her. Archangel Gabrielle, she is the communicator. She does a lot in the form of communication of all kinds of poetry, music, um, you name it. You want to write the best cover letter for a job you've ever had, dial
Calling her.
in her and she will help you.
So they've got a
She will
message to come through real quick. Do you mind?
go for it.
They want to bring in, just because you said this, and it's a perfect segue, and they've like been say something, which is a little hard on Zoom, guys. That's why we're trying to be cautious, because when we're having an interplay, like a conversation, it blocks out one, makes it a little more complicated, but that's okay. They wanted, you said something about the exchange of energy. Make sure you tap into that energy, and they're coming through really strong. They want to make sure you guys all know it's not because they need your energy. It's not because they need the exchange. It's because we hold from all, even if you just look at genetics, but from spaces and time other than this lifetime, we hold belief systems within us that say that there needs to be an energy exchange. And so we have that. And then if we connect to them without being in the space of unconditional love, then if we have that, then we could, because of our own beliefs, be giving energy away, which they're like, it is not necessary. You're a divine being and you hold it at your center. Intend to go through that divine place for your connection with us. And that doesn't have to happen. So, okay. I think that's the message. Okay. Oh.
No, absolutely. Well, in everything, there's an energetic exchange, right? And in this existence, it's money for us. That's what we use, right? But you can barter too, and that's an energetic exchange. So yeah, it's just really important to just kind of get in that habit, make that part of your practice in your own life and your own awakening and journey, is to always go to that tingly white light before you call on anybody, even an ancestor.
Or bring the tingly white light into your heart. See it as part of your
Absolutely.
being. See it as that
Absolutely.
connection point. Ground in and see the white light through you. And then through that, you connect in. Because we have a lot of layers of illusion. We have a lot of layers of false beliefs, trauma, negative experiences. So if we want the clearest answers, then oh, wow, they're bringing in energy right now, and clearest pictures, we want to come in from that point. And it's all about intention, connection, and knowing that you're there. So
Darla, I feel like that's an angel. Actually, she keeps getting this tingle and pressure.
I hear the same thing
on her right hip, and she's like, is that an angel or guide? I haven't figured it out yet. It's an angel.
Huh, it's interesting. It's right at her right hip, and I can almost see the hand. Like do you see that too?
Is? You know who that is?
Me or Darla?
You. That's Gabrielle.
Yeah. Oh, he's trying. Oh, Darla, there's a. Oh, there's.
All right.
Oh my goodness, there's a message. Oh,
there is.
So we work with Gabrielle a lot. So his energy is. Whew.
He can be very intense. I absolutely adore him. The more I've worked with him over the last few years, he has really opened me up to a lot of things. He in a good way. But he is all about forward movement. But he's actually over lightning too, ironically or not. And he will zap you if you're not like that though. But he will get your attention. And that's that pressure that you keep feeling. But Gabrielle is really about forward movement and he will push and prod you to do the things that you really ought to be doing, especially in business, y'all. If you are really wanting to expand any business that you're doing, or expand your knowledge or your job or anything like that, he will help. He will help you with ideas and pushing, and even to do the healing that needs to be done so that you can move forward. Go ahead, sir.
Sorry, he's just bringing all this wave of flow for you, Darla, and for anybody this is connected to. But Darla, he wants with you specifically, so he's calling on you. Call on him. He brings in ideas and flow of information, and it feels as if you don't always allow the unweaving and the unwinding so that it can come in. He wants you to be in flow. This doesn't have to be hard. You are a powerful light worker, and you have this ability. You have so many gifts to share. Wow, his energy is strong coming through. He wants for you so much love, to expand, to grow, and to know what you are capable of. And he says, and just seeing all this sacred geometry, that's what my hand's like in light language right now, and it's just coming down with the geometry. He's like, that flow, open up your connection point and allow the connection with him so that he can help bring in those inspired ideas. Like, he's not going to change your thinking, but he wants to be in communication, because he's here to help you flow into that. And that's not just for you, Darla, but man, is that strong for you. Ooh.
And for anybody that resonates with, take it, because they're here to work with everybody. everybody. Gadiel's been really pivotal for Sarah and I
Yes.
over the years, many different things. And any, a lot of, I know for myself personally, a lot of expansion that I've had, Gadiel. And he's been there.
Yeah, Sheila, it's Gadiel. She asked who it was, and I said Gadiel. Yeah, those zaps I'm hearing are Gadiel. He's a very forceful presence. He really wants you to, especially as healers, it seems like he really steps into healers and intuitives to help us bring what we have to bring to the world and to help our gifts expand and to
Yes.
And it really is business related. Like it is. It's like creating from love a flow of energy that can support and align and help others in a really beautiful way. And that's what he wants for you deeply. And you have that within you. It's there. And he wants to work with you.
Yeah. And the main thing, especially for you, darling, but for others as well, is stop doubting it. Stop questioning. It's okay to question. Yeah, it's okay to question things, but don't get on the gerbil wheel of questioning and doubting and no. I mean, we've all been there, but at some point when it's continuous, you're like, okay, so this is not just me. This is legit. And so he will be persistent. He will be persistent. At one point, in the beginning, I thought I'd ignore him.
There is no ignoring.
There is no ignoring him. I literally, legitly, y'all, woke up one morning because I was laying in my bed and I was like, I felt somebody standing behind me. I'm a single woman. I rolled over and I was like, yeah. And he's like, are you ready yet? I was like, dude. He goes, well, you ignored me all day yesterday. So it's like, oh.
He's like, actually, that's when my ears really started opening, like my hearing, because he worked with me. I remember that really, really strongly when that sense was opening, that intuitive sense. And I literally, he said, would you like a download to open up that sense? And I said, well, creator, is this good? Yep. Okay. Yeah, I want it. And I literally saw this energy and I just started hearing in a much bigger sense. Now, Jessica's asking what he looks like. How do you see him? I see him as redheaded. It's really interesting. I
see him as
brown, red hair.
Yeah, he's got strawberry blonde hair for me. And he steps forward and they're gorgeous. They're amazing. They're amazing. And they're like, but they're just amazing. And I see him, he steps in for me. Yeah, he's about 6'5" when he steps in for me. He's cool though, because when I know he's just coming to hang out and kind of BS and check in on me, he'll show up and like I've seen him in like jeans, boots, and like a t-shirt or sweatshirt. But when he's like a little more on the serious side, usually when he's like helping me with creativity kind of thing, he'll come in a little more business casual. But when I've been kind of like, oh, that's cute, not so much, he shows up in a suit, he's all business. And he's like, and I'm like, dude, and he's like, well, are you ready? And so, but he does it not to be a jerk. He's like, I'm not trying to be a dick. Yes, they do cuss too, by the way, just so you know. They speak your language. They talk to you the way that you would vibe with them. So anyway, he especially once you get into a working relationship with them and they get to know you. So, but he thank you. Yeah. No, they're all like pushing and I can't.
They know I don't swear very often though, so they don't swear a lot with me because I probably would be like, come back when you're done.
Well, and I'm not gonna lie.
It's brown right now.
I was in the Navy and it's a legit thing, right? And so the first time though, so I was really upset and I was having a total and absolute intuitive meltdown. They're not pretty, but they do happen. And at one point, Archangel Arielle looked at me and he dropped the F-bomb. And I looked at him and I went, oh, and then I started to cry. And he goes, what? And I'm like, I broke you. Oh my God, I'm going to hell. I just broke an angel. You just dropped the F-bomb. And he started laughing at me, like belly laughing at me. And he's like, Monique, it's just a word. And I went, oh, but
Right.
not
So they're
coming out
gonna,
of your mouth. He's like,
yeah,
it's just a word. And I
they're
went,
gonna talk to you how you're going to be able to hear. It's all vibration, right?
yeah,
Not
yeah.
that I haven't heard physical words, because I have, but they're going to talk to you in the language you can receive. So a lot of
Or
that's
that you're
just
willing to receive at that time, because I was really upset and he knew that was the only way to get my attention. But I was like,
right.
oh my God, I broke you. I'm going to hell. I did it. He's like, no, it's just a word. I was like, oh, note to self. Oh my goodness.
You know, Darla says she'd love to see and hear them. Here's the thing, guys. The more you step into that space of that, and whew, the more you step into that space and allow yourself to be in, I'm hearing innocence and imagination. Allow yourself to see what he would look like if you allowed yourself to see him. Just
Right.
practice this. What would he look like if I allowed myself to see what he looks like? You may or may not see him with your eyes. It actually, it's hard that for them to actually physically, not hard, but they can only vibrationally be in a physical sense here. So for us to see, ask yourself, what would they look like if I could see what their energy is saying to me? So what would
What does
that
that
be?
Right. What does the energy feel like? So again, it's like with
Mhm.
anything else, push into that energy. And and in the very beginning, I would feel all these people and I'd be like, oh, all right, everybody back off. All right, Jesus, step in. What does that feel like? Oh, okay. And I would call them in one at a time, the ones that I knew, right? What does that feel like, so that you can start to feel, what does male feel like for you, because everybody's body is going to respond different, because we're all different, we all have different gifts and abilities, and even where they blur, we're different, so they're going to be different, right? And that's okay. So it's about connecting with your own body and your own energy. And as they step into your energy, what does that feel like? So call out the ones that you do know, ask everybody to step back, and then call in Jesus. What does that feel like? Ooh. Call in Buddha. That one always tickles. Call in Buddha. And what does that feel like? Right. For me, Buddha always steps in. He's pink. I know that he's over the law of compassion. I'm sure that's probably part of it for me, but that's how I always feel him when he steps in. Um, and so start asking your angels to step in one at a time. And what does that feel like to you? So there is no right or wrong, and they will use your imagination as well. When I see Azrael, he's tall, dark, and yummy, right? When I see Michael, I see him as a blonde, but a lot of people see him with dark hair. So I'm always wondering, yeah, in the beginning, I thought I had him and Michael mixed up, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter who sees who, how, or what. Does that make sense? Because they're going to present to you in a way that makes you comfortable.
Yeah, or it brings the message across. You know, I saw an angel today. Oh, and I can feel him now. I saw an angel today, and the wings were so gorgeous. Like, I cannot tell you how beautiful these wings were. Now they're all okay, guys. They're all beautiful. Every single one of you. It's all beautiful. But these ones were the colors of, like, they were so vibrantly red and purple and blue and orange. I mean, every single, it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen, in this flash of color. And I believe that I saw it that way, that they were showing me that way, because they were showing they were here to help with creativity and creative expression. So they were bringing in the energy and the flow for the information to come through. So don't overthink what they look like. And if somebody else sees it differently, it's just how you're perceiving the energy.
Right. And it's just energy, not just, but it is energy. And Darla, she says, I do see color sometimes. When my stuff was reopening, that's all I saw was color.
Mm-hmm.
I learned to define them by color. I'd push into I'd see green, I'd push into the color. Does that feel male or female? Felt very male to me. All right. Human? No. Angel? Yep. All right. Who is that? I would ask. And it's about, because you want to be in a relaxed space, and when you ask, it's the first thing that pops into your head because they're giving you that answer. Don't overthink it. And if you get nothing, that's okay. We've said before, names are a little you might get an initial or one letter sometimes. I still do sometimes. I'm like, who is that? And that's okay. But then it's about not giving up, right? So if that day you're feeling a little off, that's okay. Try it again later, or try it again the next day,
Oh,
and it's the first thing that pops in your head.
you know what they're saying? They're saying, think of it as learning a new language.
Mhm,
Think of it as you're deciphering the energy in a different way. And as you
mhm.
start learning these new languages, you start deciphering it differently. So as the different guides, angels, energies step in, you're getting that information because you're learning it. And then it comes very quickly after that.
Oh yeah.
But
And
I
it'll
hear,
it'll unfold really fast once you trust. Again,
yes.
trust what you're getting. Trust it. Trust.
But you have to go to a place of innocence. You have to go to a place of wonder to allow that to come through. But everybody can perceive that energy. We just might not all see it the same way.
I know it's okay.
Yep.
You may not see it per se. It might be all the feels. It might be you might see colors, or I know feel colors. Yeah, don't
But you
even
can
just
feel like, I feel like it's a male that feels like, but yet you're seeing, but you're not, but you're feeling.
Mhm.
It's all good.
You're still seeing it. You're still seeing it. You're seeing it the way that you're allowing yourself to see it at the moment. And that's okay. It's all good.
Yeah.
Holy
Oh, you're
buckets.
welcome, Melinda. Hinama. Okay, man. Sheesh. Okay. Whew. What do you get, Mo? Because there's some energy coming in right now.
There is. So somebody needs to hear that they need to trust themselves. And I think this is going to apply to a lot of us. I'm just going to say us in general as a group. You're getting a lot of information, and you're actually getting more than you think you are. You're hearing stuff, you're seeing stuff out of the corner of your eye, you're discounting it quickly because it actually startles and scares you a little bit. Oh, keep it back up. Michael wants you to know, Archangel Michael wants you to know that you are never alone, and you are always safe and protected. And you need to trust yourself, and you need to, and not need out of obligation, but for you to achieve the level that you're wanting, you need to spend time with your peeps, as I say, your angels. Spend time with your angels. Even if it's, hey, I'm driving to Bozeman, or I'm driving to Billings, I'm going to Missoula. All right, let's go. And call in your people. Know that they're with you. Call them in to protect your vehicle and everybody, that whatever it may be. And just know, having that faith and trust that it's done. Those are the baby steps. And I love it. He said, whomever you feel divinely connected to, Jesus, Buddha, Holy Spirit, any of the ascended masters, any angel in particular, if you're super drawn to one of them, odds are they're probably one of your guides. Call on them. Go deep into your heart space, go into that divine connection, because it's divine within, not just without, right? Go into that divine connection. Imagine yourself sitting there at a table. Invite them to the table and have that conversation, have that time, even if it's 10 minutes. Have 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 a coffee with them, have it, whatever your imagination or your creativity wants. I used to imagine these two really big comfy chairs and a fireplace. That's where they met me, and we'd sit there and we'd visit. But it's about the environment isn't critical. It's about giving time. It's like when you're raising your kids, you want to have a relationship with them. How do you do that? You put in the time. You put in the time, energy, and effort, and they will match you in that.
And here's
Absolutely.
the thing, this is important, and this is why, oh, they're really bringing this in too. This is why connecting to that heart space, to that pure space, to that white light, use your discernment. This isn't about blind trust and trust in self. Part of some of what gets in the middle of us trusting ourselves is, are we really getting what we're getting? And it's because we're learning discernment within that. What are the feels telling me? What is this? Is this good? Is this bad? Like, is this chill? Because chills can be good or bad. And often we have a different feeling for either one. Like, I love when the angels step in, but there can also be chill that you're like, I'm going, it's time to leave right now. So there's a place they're saying for discernment. So I'm actually hearing we need to download discernment and what true trust is in ourselves and our intuition, and that we know what discernment is, and we have that understanding of what discernment is, and the wisdom to stand in the space of discernment and trust from soul-centered truth. Can we bring in all of those downloads in the highest and best way through creator energy, what they feel like, how to have them, when to have them, it's possible to have them, and you do. If you would like that, say yes, thank you, it is done, it's done, it's done, show me now. Oh, into the receptors of your cell.
Free and without struggle of any kind.
Yes, and that it can be easy to know the difference.
Yes.
And to know what is true and right.
Free and without unhealthy fear.
Yes. Whew, okay. And knowing it's your birthright to be able to connect with them. It's your birthright to connect to your soul. It's your birthright to connect to creator. You are a divine being. This is something that you are allowed. You can, and you do. And you can have the discernment, the wisdom, and the trust within all of that, and do so with innocence and grace.
Yes.
With strength, power through divine love and truth. And when all of that, bringing that in alignment. Thank you. It's done, it's done, it's done. Show me.
Excuse me.
You are worthy and deserving to call on your angels, to send out the message, and to ask, and then to receive. That you know how to, when to, it's possible to, and you do.
Just say yes. With courage and confidence.
Angels will never tell you something that's going to bring harm. They'll never have a message that might be true, but it's not going to be unloving.
Right.
So this is part of it too. Is that something that a divine being would actually give me as a message?
Right.
They'll sell it like it is. They'll tell you, you're not taking the action you need to take if that's the result that you want to have. But
right. They'll be like, hey, you need to do this, but I am. But are you though?
Are you? Really? Right, because they're honest. They're going to tell the truth, but it's not going to be unloving.
No. So Sarah, there's a question. What's the difference between your higher self and the angels? I'll let you take
that. So it's interesting. Your higher self is or I like to say highest self, because we can actually, that's a big topic of conversation, but your higher self is you. It's your I am presence. It's when I go and I connect in and I come into the higher self, it's like the higher self has the greater awareness of all the soul contracts, has the awareness of what our purpose is, has the awareness of all of it. At the center, we are divine. That's who we are. And then moving outward, we have the possibility of the wounding and the trauma and the beliefs. But the truth is, we're divine beings having this experience, and our human experiences have these other, experiences. And at that center and at the highest self, that part of us has all the knowledge of all of that. And working with your higher self in that energy can really bring you into alignment with what you're here to grow into, to learn, to experience. Yeah. Does that explain it?
I think so. Do you have any follow-up questions to that?
So that's your higher self. The angels are different. The angels are not, well, we're all part of divine, right? We're all in that as a big energy, right? And then here we are. But the angels are their own part. The higher self is like, see it as this line, but it also sits inside you. I mean, all of it is part of you, but it's yours. Like, this is your experience, your contracts, the angels are here to guide us, but they're not holding your contract. Like, they're not you per se, individualized, though we're all part and connected to everybody. So it's kind of an interesting thing, right? So they kind of are, but not the same way.
No.
So your guides, your angels, and there's lots of different things within the spectrum. Merlin comes to me a lot. I get a lot of energy stuff. Merlin brought Vortex Healing to both Monique and I, which is still pending. There's a pin in that one because we got a whole lot of downloads about Vortex Healing. Merlin will come in when I'm doing a session, and Vortex Healing needs to come in, which really cleans out the DNA and some other stuff. There are goddess energies that are very high vibrational energies. Not all energies are higher vibrational, so you really want to get the highest energy. Even laws can be a consciousness. So there's a lot of energies out there to connect into, and it depends, I think, a lot on your own gifts, what you connect into and what you have an affinity for.
Well, and as far as the laws go, they come down to virtues, and see how funky my screen is? That's all the energy that's around me right now.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to connect with the law of truth, you're not going to be able to unless you're at that vibration, the same vibration as the law of truth. And that goes with any of the laws. So and there is no right or wrong with that. It's just where you at on your journey, right? If there's something that you really want to strive for, then you might need to do some healing or backup deep dive healing to get there. That is so interesting. Can you see that on my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Dawn says, I find myself connecting to the higher self more at this moment. She's so funny, girl, and that's okay. Mine comes walking in like one of the muses off of like that cartoon Disney movie Hercules. She's like, boom, and I'm like, damn, why can't I look like that here?
Yeah, and she's going to bring that for you. And so this is where I say always connect to the highest energy, because creator energy has perspective of all of it, whereas your higher self is for you and your experience and your contracts and so when I'm working with someone in a healing space, I mean, I actually ask the creator to go to highest self, Akashic records, all these different aspects to gain the information that's the highest truth for that person, all through creator, of course.
Absolutely. It's like peeling back. Aw, she says, thank you. This helps. It's almost everybody's an onion. Shrek had it right.
And Melinda, good night. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. One layer at a time. And so
we are, and what's so interesting is, so we're always learning. She mentioned the virtues. They're saying this is really important. We're here to, this isn't about ignoring the shadow. Like some things are like really like going into this place of, just love and light. Now, love and light is important, but we've been learning as spiritual beings through our shadow, through duality, through this experience we're having. We're actually here, though, to move into wholeness, to who we really are as divine being, which is a makeup and a composite and an energy that is always expanding. So virtues allow that. And the more that you step into, actually, the more gifts that open, the more you step into joy, the more you experience what you want to experience instead of what you don't. So bringing in that learning and that understanding, like of what that is, as she was saying, is part of our soul growth, and it is who we really are. And if you believe in such a thing as connection to other lifetimes, then we've been doing this a few times. So it's time to bring those forward into the now moment.
Yeah, it's almost like this go around for a lot of people, and myself included in that. It's like this was the go round of getting a lot of things right that were previously kind of messed up, and like really balancing out the karmic scale and really bringing things into alignment and moving forward in a very profoundly positive way versus some of the other experiences not so much. And so
yeah, it's time to get off the merry-go-round. It's time to move into who we are instead of living in this space of who we're not.
Right, and trying to create something that ought not be here, or not creating the best things for ourselves, because we create our own realities, right? And so not creating maybe the best thing for ourselves. And so it's been really interesting, especially with the funky energies that we've had with the whole palindrome yesterday, and all the energetic shifts that have been going on. It's been really interesting listening to a lot of people, and kind of hearing similar ish type stories across the board. And I'm talking Reiki masters and all kinds of folks, different modalities, whatever. I'm everybody intuitive. I'm just parking it there. But because the modalities don't matter, we're all intuitive, and we're all gifted in our own birthright, like Sarah said earlier. And it's just interesting to see how that's kind of like the big universal goal and or message, if you will, is getting things cleared out, doing the healing on those deep dive levels, like Sarah said, really digging and diving deep into the shadow work. A lot of people have been afraid to, and then some people only focus on that. And I think it's about finding that balance. Of course, when you're triggered, absolutely deal with it, but it's people are finding that balance and correcting a lot of lifetimes of issues, if you will.
Good way to put it. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So I'm just feeling in. Is there any other message that they really, really want to bring through right now? Just that they love you all so deeply. That's what I'm getting. Just an overwhelming flow of love.
Well, and yeah, absolutely. And what I'm getting along that too is you guys truly have no idea how amazing, wonderful, and beautiful you are. You have no idea how much you are so deeply loved, and how much the angels really want to be a part of your journey and a part of your life. I talk to mine all the time, and I have a very close relationship with them. I've put in the time to get there. It wasn't always like that. But they really want to have a much bigger role on the path that you're on and the journey that you're embarking on, and or have been on. But it's up to us to take that lead and to make the ask. Would you please come forward? Would you please help me? Would you please protect me? Would you please heal me? Would you, whatever it may be, you have to put in the ask. But you are truly loved more than you can ever imagine. When they first started re-stepping in for me, the love that I felt rolling off of them, I like, all I could do was just kind of crumple and cry. I just sobbed.
Mm.
I never felt love like that in a long, long time. And you know, that's what they have for everybody. It is an absolute unconditional love. And they want to honor you and they want to help you. They're just standing, they're showing me like a stage, and they're standing at the edge of the curtains just waiting for you to wave them out to help.
Yeah, Ma. Ooh, there's like an opening in the heart that they want for you to allow their messages to flow through, their connection with you. I'm actually hearing an angelic language. And they want you to allow the opening. So visualize your heart opening, and all through creator space, the highest vibration, and allow yourself to receive the unconditional love that sits there for you, allowing yourself to connect into your ability to have a relationship with your guardians, your guides, your angels, all in the highest perspective. They want you to know and feel that this is yours. You're worthy and deserving, and you can. And they're here for you. And there may be many times that you have need of that, and they're here to help you in those times of need. Let them be what they came to be. They are ready, they are waiting, and they are willing. And they're just raining love to everybody that I can see.
Absolutely. They want to create with you. They want to help you manifest.
Yes.
You know, they really do. They really, really do. They really, it's, they're so amazing what they create, the creative process. You know, I'll think of something and it's usually because it's one of them gave me an idea, and then I'll be like, oh, and I'm a processor, so I'll you know, try and look at it from all angles and all that, and they're like, just they'll laugh at me, oh, stop, and then they'll show me something bigger because I'm also a big picture person, and then they'll show me like, and I was, you know, like a much bigger than what I was thinking, and they're like, see, and I was like, whoa, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So if you allow that energy to flow, and they will help guide and direct you. They're not going to give you all the answers up front, but they will help steer and guide and help you along the way so that you can achieve that if you want to. If you want to.
Right. Ooh, all right. And we have free will to create this experience. That's part of why they don't tell you where to go. You get to choose. They'll help, they'll guide, but yet it's still your journey. It's still yours. So, all right. Do you want to close the space up, Monique? Or you think we're ready for that right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Or yeah, go ahead.
All right. So in that heart space that they really want you to connect to, just connect back into it. Oh, know that they infinitely love you. Man, I am hearing that light language flowing through everything right now. I'm seeing sacred geometry just flowing down. My head is like buzzing with it right now. Yeah, and I'm actually getting, so this is really interesting. I'm getting like 5 different languages flowing. So I don't know what all of these are, except I hear them coming through divine. And Hoshia Mahana. So they really want you to connect into that heart space and know how loved you are. And just watch that connection point go down into the earth again and see it plug into center. And then watch it go up into the bright white light above you, connecting into that. And allow the white light to surround you. Ooh, and from this space, creator of all that is, all the angels that are here, all the guides that came forward, all the energies, Buddha, Jesus, all the goddess energies that were here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of our journey. Thank you for guiding us and showing us and bringing messages. Ooh, I honor, I love, I respect, and I'm in deep gratitude for you. And I send you all unconditional love. Creator of all that is requested to send all of them unconditional love today. And all of us here on this live today and in the future, all of these energies for the future, and unconditional love healing. Creator of all that is, create that now. Thank you. Oh. All right, and we ask that all of our energies be separated, that we be in our own space. I want each and every one of you to see a rain shower of pure unconditional love flowing over you as I also witness it. This is cleansing. This is healing. And watch as it flows over you and it connects you into the center again with that energy, bringing your energy down, down, down into your body, into your heart space, all the way down through into the ground, connecting into the center, planting and grounding at center, and coming back into your heart, knowing you are fully cleansed in your space, yet still connected to the divine force that always flows through every cell of your body. You are always connected as an infinite being, always. All right, Creator of all that is, thank you. Aho. Okay, thank you, everybody. So,
Yeah.
okay.
And always remember to have your attitude of gratitude. And I thank the angels all the time. Anytime they help me with anything, I'm always like, oh, thanks, guys. Gals, peeps, whatever. And so absolutely they appreciate being appreciated too. So keep that in mind. But anyway.
Any way you say, Lisa said, is there a way to say thanks? Any way you do it is accepted and beautiful in your heart, out loud. If you feel, there have been moments where I really felt like I put flowers into a stream and I was in gratitude. You can do it any way, but even from little to big, the energy of gratitude is huge. Living in gratitude actually centers you in abundance, truly, in this now moment.
And you got to remember, they know our heart as well. So if you're, I mean, I've been unable to verbalize anything, and I just cried because I had such great appreciation for what they had helped me through, that all I could do is sit there and ugly cry and snot all over myself. But they knew that I truly appreciated what they'd done. So they get it. They're pretty smart.
Oh, and everybody say thank you to us. And so that is our thank you and thank you. This is a joy for us because we get to give and receive at the same time. And community is so important. And I love all of you guys. So I'm so glad I get to be here. So thank you for being here. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.